Evening all, Barney Black here, running with MS for brain tumour research this year, and this week up until 30th of April in the UK is MS Awareness Week. And it just dawned on me, I haven't taken my Monday night tablet, Tecfidera, which I take AM and PM. A bit late at night, but well, late than ever. Ta-da! Anyhow, right, so MS Awareness Week. I've been wondering how I could play my part and raise awareness in multiple sclerosis, and I have a whole backlog of videos which has gone through my symptoms, and today I saw an annual update from a guy who I've got to know in the last few years from the States. He's in New York now, New York State, I don't think it's New York City, called Spencer Schaffner, and I stumbled across one of his videos when I was about to be or had just been diagnosed with MS, and you kind of find yourself looking for people that are going through the same as you so that you can understand what to expect perhaps, or just find similarities so that you're not on your own, I suppose, with what it is that you're going through, looking for some kindred spirits. And I found lots. Another guy in America, Damien Washington. Yeah, Damien Washington, and another lady who goes by the YouTube channel of Even So It Is True, and so on. The Shift MS, there's the MS Society, there's the MS Trust. There's loads of different places that you find when you're Googling and YouTubing and trying to just find voices that are going through what you have or will. Potentially or otherwise. Anyhow, Spencer is a guy that I have found to be really interesting, the way that he shared his story. There were lots of similarities with his journey to eventual diagnosis and mine, but there were also significant differences. And I'll share a link to Spencer's latest video here so you can have a look at that at the end of this one. But I guess MS Awareness Week in the United Kingdom, MS comes in many shapes and sizes. Mine has been stable, I would say, 4 or 5 years. I don't believe I've had any kind of changes to my symptoms in that period. I have got symptoms which are a hangover from the I suppose in the MS world, you would call them MS attacks, MS exacerbations, MS incidents, where because mine is relapsing remitting, it comes, it does its thing, I go to the doctor, and it may go completely or it may leave a little bit of damage behind, because basically multiple sclerosis, it's scars. It's multiple scars on the nervous system, so in the brain and in the spinal column. And I've said before, my main scarring is in my spinal column, although there are, I think, about 6 or 7 different little spots in the brain MRI scan that are also been attributed to damage that the MS has done, which basically, it's an autoimmune disease. So there's a protective covering around our nerves called myelin, and my myelin is being attacked and gaps appear, which then results in short circuits in the nerves, which cause sensations, some more severe than others. I do not believe, or would like to say, that I am in the severe camp. And that's where I find myself really struggling with what voice can I give multiple sclerosis, particularly in times like MS Awareness Week. I've always believed that whilst my symptoms concerned me enough to go to the doctor and ultimately led to an MS diagnosis, from the first that I know MS was a consideration for what I may have been experiencing goes as far back as 2002. I probably had symptoms prior to that, but never went to the doctors. And then ultimately between 2002 and final diagnosis in 2017, I had a whole range of different symptoms with varying timelines between one and the next one. Ranging from numbness and tingling to a symptom called the MS hug, which I said before needs to be renamed the MS crush, or the MS constrictor. But the vast majority of my symptoms, I have had some cognitive challenges where thought processes, forgetfulness, the ability to use the right words the way that I want, or just being able to actually use words in the way that I want, has definitely been a problem at times. And numbness. So my legs are constantly numb. My toes in particular on both feet now are always with a pins and needles type sensation, as are both my hands, which is where it's all started in this left hand, as far as my memory is concerned. This is the left hand which first led me to the doctor, which then set off that whole slow train of events to diagnosis. 15, 16 years or so after going to the doctor for the first time. Anyhow, so how do I cope with MS? What does MS mean to me day to day is something I wanted to try and share with you, dear viewer. Thank you for watching. I cope with it just as much as I cope with anything else in life. It's a part of who I am. It's a part of my being. And this isn't meant to sound blasé, flippant, or dismissive, but it is what it is. I don't fight it. I don't battle it. I'm not in a battle with MS. That doesn't work for me. I don't want to suddenly develop a desire to do all the things that I wish I had done before I had MS. I'd like to think that I've had some ambition before that, personally, professionally, whatever. And I'd like to think I still have desires, ambitions, professionally and personally after diagnosis, but not because of diagnosis. I hope that makes sense. It hasn't driven me to want to seize the day. I want to do stuff because I want to do stuff. I've always kind of had that thing. I don't think I have any greater motivation because of it. I did used to say I run because I can, and I'll run until I can't. That's probably something which whatever your passion is, there may be a day you can't do it as well as you would like anyhow, regardless if you're in the fullest of health and have no underlying issues anyhow. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm not in a battle with MS. It is what it is. I take these things twice a day. I haven't had an MRI to check if the way I feel is matched with the MRI scans showing stability or even any regression in the scanning, which has shown up in the past. So I am due an MRI, but because I haven't had any symptoms, it's just something which will happen in the next few months. And that'll be quite interesting to see what the outcomes of that is. So that's pretty much it. This week I have been thinking about how I can attribute music. Music's a big thing for me. I love music, always have, always will. And today I shared a couple of tunes on Twitter, which the first one, I have quite spasm legs. There's my stepdaughter Lottie. Say hello, Lottie. Well, she's sneaking into her chocolate stash, but she doesn't know or think I knew where it was. but I know where her chocolate stash is. Eh, she's trying to tippy-toe out the room. I'll close the door. Oh, she's coming back. What was I saying? Oh, music. So the first one was Half Man, Half Biscuit. Because I've got legs which spasm, particularly at night times, Restless Legs, which is a cool song. It's nothing about MS, but it fits. And I also at times can have some bladder control issues. So the Stone Roses, which are a fantastic band, their song Waterfall, I thought was quite an apt one. Again, it made me laugh. So I'm going to look at my symptoms for the rest of the week, and I'm going to share music, which very indirectly is connected to a symptom which I've had or maybe continued to have. Bye. So I'll share those with you on Twitter if you want to follow me. But yeah, dig out Half Man, Half Biscuit, Restless Legs, and Stone Roses Waterfall. They're two pretty cool tunes. That's it. I'm going to leave it at that. That was a ramble. You know what? It's MS Awareness Week. This is MS. I have got multiple sclerosis. I'm at the low end of the severity of how it impacts people. I'm not in a fight. I'm living my life. And yeah, so far, so good.